Shalom Akim, my name's Kal. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, double honors to our elders and apostles who rule Great Millstone well, and Shalom to all you Akim pushing this true with sincerity throughout the whole earth. May you brothers endure into the end. Shalom. So I'm still getting in on this book. It's called Heroes and Villains. This is page 12, and I'm gonna jump between a couple pages to get a point, but this chapter is called Rome, a state built on slavery. I'm gonna jump halfway down into the half of the first paragraph. It says, most of all, Rome was a slave state. The peninsula of Italy contained perhaps 6 million people at the time of Spartacus, of whom 2 million were slaves. Entire states built on slavery as opposed to serfdom. And serfdom is what came after the Civil War, where they still enslaved you through bills. Are actually not that common in history. The best known other examples are the American South before the Civil War of 1861 to 65, and the Empire of Brazil before 1889. Slavery, but you see how they related Rome to America? Even the way it conducted itself is exact. Slavery became a social fetish in Rome, and the ruling class there competed for numbers of slaves. Roman aristocrats means the leading class. Our ruling class is how it has it here. And the ruling class there competed for numbers of slaves. Roman aristocrats prided themselves on their vast slave holdings, which were thought to be the most reliable index of wealth after land itself. The property qualification to be a member of the Senate of ruling body of Rome was 1 million sesterces, but most senators possessed far more than that. It was estimated that if you were worth 3 million sesterces, you would also own 400 slaves. So see, it's a statement of your statue to own slaves. All right. So NBA players, rappers, they don't own slaves, so they really are not wealthy. They don't have real wealth. Okay. But the so-called white man, the Edomite, throughout all their civilizations, they always had slaves, and we were them, the Israelite. Who were the slaves in Rome at this time? Were the so-called American Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All right? But I'm saying all the 12 tribes, all the tribes from Judah to Yashashakar, they were enslaved in Rome, in all these countries, okay? But that's why they relate Rome to America's slavery, because it's the same thing, it's the same people. So I'm going to jump to page 14. Okay, here we go. It says, because a wealthy Roman's prestige depended on the number of his slaves, he would frequently have more than 200 in his household. There were thus more slaves than jobs to do, and the ludicrous division of labor tended to arise, whereby one slave would buy groceries, another cook, another put on his master's shoes, another dress him, and yet another follow him around to attend to his every need. The city slaves were found in a variety of jobs, as street cleaners, builders of baths, so construction workers, street sweepers. Is like my father was street maintenance for Denver, so he was a street sweeper. Builders of baths, construction workers, building of baths and temples, factory workers, navies, navies on roads, and aqueducts, as shop workers, cooks, barbers, hairdressers, nurses, tutors, secretaries, butlers, laundrywomen, house cleaners, seamstress, school teachers. Because of the oversupply of male slaves, many of them were found performing household chores that at the time might normally have been done by females. See, and that's a cut to women be trying to be like a man. Even back then, it was normal for a woman to do daily chores. All right? But that shows how America, it says in this book. In fact, let me get that one more time. It says, are actually not that common in history. The best known other examples are American South before the Civil War of 1861 and the Empire of Brazil before 1889. So in this book, it's telling you America operated just like Rome. It was built on slavery just like Rome was. And it was states were built on slavery just like Rome was. And the reason why was because we sinned and we went off. We committed sin. So I'm going to get some script. This is Ezekiel 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith Yahweh's power, Behold, O Mount Seir, which is the so-called white man today. Mount Seir would have been the Edomites where they dwelled. I am against thee, so the Most High is against you, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I mean, he's going to destroy you. I will lay the cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh's power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, so since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir, talking about the Edomites, the so-called white men, most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out of, and him that returneth. And so even the confusion of face of Edom, the one that looks like a black man, but he has a Caucasian father, and Edomite father, he's still a white man. So just because he could leave the so-called white race and blend in with look like a black man, it don't matter. You're still gonna get put to death. You're still gonna become desolate. So even the confusion of face of Edom is gonna be destroyed. Verse 8, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and the hill, and that's the kingdom here, that he's going to fill this place. He's going to kill all these people in America. He's going to kill them. And he's going to fill this place with bodies of the Edomites. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, in thy hills and in thy valleys, and in thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And that's why you're going to have pestilence and a plague, because you're going to have so many corpses. The plague is going to be it's going to be in your water, because there's going to be dead bodies in the river. So during Jacob's trouble, everybody's going to suffer. I mean, especially the Israelite, but these heathens too, because your judgment is beginning to be dished out. Verse 9, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Yahweh was there. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh's power, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. Talking about the children of Israel. He's going to punish Mount Seir, which is representing the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. And just like I read in Rome, Rome operated just like America because it's the same people. Edomites, the so-called white man. Okay? And I will make myself known among them, which he's doing now, through these videos, through the camps, when I have judged thee. Meaning your judgment's coming by the raising up of these camps. That's why you know your time is short. And that's why the so-called white man is really going to start showing his true colors as the devil. That's also why you're starting to see all these shootings. All these shootings are so-called white men shooting up so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. I live here in Colorado. We had a shooting in the local Walmart. It was a old white man shooting. He shot 3 so-called Hispanic people. All right? So they're going to start showing they're the devil. A good movie to see that in is in the movie The Help, right? And there's a time in that movie where they kill a so-called black man, and it's all, you know, throughout the neighborhood. Everybody knows. They start rioting, and even the police stop the bus, the public transportation, and tell the blacks to get off and tell them to walk home. Well, in that part, the lady runs, and she falls and gets hurt because she's so terrified, because the so-called white man, he showed his colors back then. He would lynch you, he would burn you, he would rape the girls. I've even saw the documentaries where they were saying that the white man, when your daughters were out there waiting for the bus, he would just pull up and rape them literally right there in front of everybody, and nobody was able to do nothing, because if you would have harmed that white man, they would have lynched you. They would have burned you. So those times are coming back, and they're going to show you that they're the devil, all right? Because the Most High, he wants you to cry out for him to deliver you, and it's going to intensify. That's why even Jacob's trouble is going to be so intense, because we're so stiff-necked and hard-headed. We won't even cry out until we're pretty much perishing, and our children are perishing before us. So, you know, but we do have salvation coming. The so-called white man has no salvation. The rest of the heathens have no salvation, and 2/3 of Israel, which are Israel, are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. They're going to be put to death right along with the heathens, because they refuse to repent. But all Israel will be saved. All Israel will be saved through Yahweh Shai, through the sacrifice he made on that cross. But just like Rome operated, so did America. Just like Rome states, the Rome nation was built on slavery, so was America. All right? So there's nothing new under the sun, and these prophecies are being fulfilled they're increasing very fast, you know, where you're starting to see the prophecies being fulfilled so much, so that soon, I mean, the only thing we're waiting for is the RFID chip and the nukes, you know. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to our elders and apostles who rule great and storm well. And shalom to our Yakim. Keep pushing this truth with sincerity. And may you brothers that are of the elect endure unto the end. Shalom.